we can take it back, all kinds of things we can do from there. But if you're like, your partner's like, man, I'm gonna land between the knees. If I come up, so I'm gonna go back, you still put their hips between your knees, and you beat them belly up rather than belly down. All right, so another option that we have is a lot of times our partner will put the hip on our partner's hips back on the floor. So we will end up in a position where she goes to start bridging me across. I try to expose the back from this position, and right from here, as I try to expose the back, sometimes before I get my leg over to hook my partner's leg, we just end up in a situation like this, where she bridges me through, we clear the knee, and we end up in a situation like this. Now, if she continues to come up from here, she's like, oh man, my back's gonna be exposed. So she brings the back to she brings her hips back down to the floor, but as she goes to do so, I can't get my leg over. Maybe she's trapping my leg, she re-pinches it, whatever the case is. And then right from here, as she goes to bring her hip to the floor, we just come up and we dominate that far hip. And now we have a ton of different options from here, all right? Number one is we can always start to expose our partner's back. Number two is we can immediately start sliding into 3/4 mount from here. And then we can, a lot of times she opens up her legs, you go and mount and go to that figure four, we looked at before. We can go into elbow cuts and claws. We can go into reach back crossface. We can get to our partner's far wrist. Anytime we can dominate that far hip, we have that height, we're gonna win the battle from there. And so a lot of times, she either goes to bridge me over, and I step all the way out and I can hook the leg, or sometimes I free my knee and we end up like this. So now if she goes to come up on top of me, we're gonna expose her back from this position, okay? She's like, man, I don't want that happening. So she immediately throws her back to the floor. When that happens, now we can play from here. Now wherever she goes, we can go and we can start our offensive game. All right, so we looked at the elbow cut a little bit, previously in other positions. The elbow cut is something that we can do if we feel like at any point we're not going to have time to take our hands off the floor for a reach back crossface, and we're not going to have time to beat our partner at the hips. So an elbow cut is something that I can do, which I can do relatively quickly, and I can kind of control the space to a degree because of the fact that I'm on top of my opponent. So if I feel like I can't hit a reach back crossface, if I feel like I can't get to the far wrist, if I feel like I can't, free my knee in time, an elbow cut is always a good option. And we can use these in combinations with each other, which we'll look at, as we go, and obviously in the rolling footage. But if I see from here, she has this over back grip, and I feel like, let's say from this position, she just shoots into the position. I'm not going to be able to hit a reach back crossface. Maybe she tries to bridge, and maybe I'm a little bit late, and just instinctually or timing, whatever the case is, instead of taking my left hip down towards the floor and posting on the knee and freeing my knee, maybe she goes to bridge, and I just instinctually like, oh shit, and my knee bases out. From here, if her knee goes to beat me from this position, okay, now I'm in a much worse position than I was previously. But one of the easiest things I can do from here is just hit a quick elbow cut. The way that I do this is by just posturing up and sagging back and away. So I sit back diagonally towards my partner's bottom leg in this position. But as she goes to start moving me around or bridging, and I get a base from this position, right from here, when I see that now, obviously she can't take me over, so now she's gonna start coming back down and bringing that knee back inside, we just go in and we hit an elbow cut, like so. So that right from here, the whole goal from any position is to start to get our shoulder underneath our partner's armpit. So we put our elbow as a wedge between our partner's rib cage and ours. Because just as we are trying to seal that elbow to the hip to stop our partner from getting to that overback grip, we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it not from the beginning to the end. We're doing it from the end of the transition back to the beginning. And now, once we have our elbow underneath, or our shoulder underneath that armpit, now it's the easiest thing in the world to go in and start body locking. It's the easiest thing in the world to go in and start taking a claw grip, to get to that far wrist and start flattening her out, to combine it with a claw grip. And we can go into a bunch of different things right from here. All right, but whenever I see that I just, number one, want an elbow cut. There's a bunch of different reasons why you would do this. One of the best reasons is because you feel like you don't have time to take your hands off the floor and hit the reach back or free your leg from this position. So right from here, I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. I just sag back and away. I can even posture up first to make a little bit of space. So hold on tight. You can even posture up and then just come in and start sagging back and away. And then I just shoot my shoulder to her armpit. And now right from here, when she tries to use this over back grip, I can return her to the floor and work into all of my attacks, okay? So when I see, from here we end up in a position, she tries to go in and off balance me, we'll just quickly go in and we hit that elbow cut. And now once we hit that elbow cut, we're in position to go in with the inside position and start flattening her out and go into all of my counter attacks. All right, so an elbow cut is a great option. We looked at it a little bit before, and this is just using it not from these different positions we were in, or I'm dominating the top hip or anything like that, but just as a move by itself where I feel like I can't quite take my hands off the floor, I can't quite frame my knee. So instead, we just take the elbow inside and we start beating our partner. Okay. The good news with the elbow cut is if I can't take my hand off the floor from this position, okay, because of the fact that I can't hit the reach back crossface, like I just can't do it because he's putting weight on my shoulders, I can always lean back in this direction, okay? When she tries to keep my left hand on the floor, she can do it with the reach back. But when I start sagging back and away, I bring my left knee forward and I use this to sit back. As she goes to start bringing this hand to the floor, it's a pretty easy thing to just slump away from my partner, and now we can go and we can start playing a game from here. So if I'm trying to just posture straight up, I can't get my hands off the floor. We can get our hands off the floor if we sag down. Now that we can't go for a reach back crossface because we're too far away. But what we can do is we can hit that elbow cut and move back and away. So if I feel like there's a lot of pressure towards my hands, it'll stop the reach back crossface, but it won't stop the elbow cut. All right, let's look at an elbow cutback now. With the one thing that can happen when you're going into all these attacks is when your partner goes to start bridging, we can open up the knee like so. And as we open up the knee, we can start looking to start attacking her if she comes forward towards me. The one thing that she can do in this position is she can hit an elbow cutback because now there's space between us. And now if she starts reaching for me, as I try to come back into top position, she can start beating me from here. Okay? When she goes to hit an elbow cutback, the first thing I'm going to look to do is as I feel her elbow coming in, we bring our elbow in. So now, if possible, we can take the inside elbow position and we can hit an elbow cutback, and now we have control of the upper body. If she goes to get on top from here, it's a pretty easy thing to just dominate that far hip and start driving forward. So if I can steal the inside elbow position, we're here, and she goes to hit an elbow cutback. If I can take my elbow to the inside, you're going to win this battle from here. Because now, when she goes to get on top, it's a pretty easy thing to transition to Sumigashi or just outright heist into top position. Okay? If I see that from here, she goes to hit an elbow cutback, and we both have, neither one of us steals the inside position. So instead of my elbow coming inside hers, or her elbow coming inside mine, we both just make space and we end up in situations like this. Okay? Now from here, I still have the advantage. Yes, we're both on our butts, but I have my hand ready to grab her leg. So now as she goes to get up from here, we just build height. We just use this to lift the leg and we come into the top position. So if neither one of us steal the inside position and she's here, now right from here, yes, I'm on my butt, but I have a grip on her leg. So now, as she goes to heist, I always come up with the leg and I can put her back down. Okay? And the danger starts to arise where she goes to hit an elbow cutback and she steals the inside position. If from here, she goes over my shoulder, it's not that big of a deal because now I have the inside position with my right hand. So now as she goes to get on top of me, we just collapse over the head and we just use Sumigashi, put her back over. Now we're in chest to chest half guard, ready to work. The biggest danger is when she goes to hit an elbow cutback from here, and from here she goes to my waist here. Okay, because now I can't go Sumigashi. She's the inside position. She controls my hips from here. Okay. As she goes to get on top in this position, if she gets heist up, now she can beat me from here. Okay. What I can't do is I can't drive my knee across to the far hip because this shoulder is checking my hip now, so it's hard for me to do. In the event that she comes to my waist, a couple different options. Number one, I do have control of her leg. So as we both go to heist from here, you can usually win the battle for top position. So as she has that overback grip, I'm trying to expose her back, but she does a good job of hitting an elbow cutback coming to my waist. We just shoot our leg through and immediately go into a heist. In the event that I'm a little bit late, I try to heist, we end up here. As she goes to get on top of me, we just put in a guillotine grip. So as she goes to get on top, we make sure that our knee dominates her hip once again. If she goes to get on top,